proceedings, I would like to take a moment to recognize a notable guest for today's evening. Having completed his bachelor's degree specialized in computer software engineering at the Sri Lanka Institute of Information Technology and a Master of Science degree in business computing from the Staffordshire University, this individual has been one to inspire and engage quite a number of young minds on the field of cloud computing. Having joined the Microsoft team in 2017 as a partner technology advisor, he currently serves as a partner technology strategist at Microsoft. It's my pleasure to welcome Mr. Prabhat Manepiruma to today's event. Good evening to you, sir. I would like to hand over the proceedings to you to give an introduction to the competition and address the gathering.
Thank you very much. I believe I'm very much audible to you, but if someone can enable the screen sharing for me, I can. All right. Hope you can see my screen, the presentation.
Yes.
All right. Perfect. Thank you. Thanks for the confirmation. Good evening to you all. As per the introduction, my name is Prabhat Manapiruma. Currently working at Microsoft Sri Lanka and Maldives as a partner technology strategist. So I also joined Microsoft as an intern back in 2016. So after working on multiple community engagements, and because even before entering my university, I really wanted to connect with the community, because even while I was studying in school, I realized the value of connecting with people, expanding the personal network, and trying to build a personal branding, which is really important nowadays, right? So gradually I could become an intern, and then contract staff member, and eventually a full-time employee at Microsoft. I just wanted to tell this to you, thought this is interesting for you as well, if you are from business or IT background who really don't want to sit in front of a computer for a long time. I mean, just for, just to do coding and do IT activities. Instead of that, if you really want to talk to people, identify their problem statements, and trying to help them to solve these challenges. I mean, if you are a person like that, then you are quite similar to me, because that's how I was looking at. That's where I wanted to be. In my journey so far, working with the community was really helpful. So I know that I'm not trying to deviate from the topic, but I always encourage university students to connect with the community, work with people while you are an undergraduate, because when you are coming to the industry, it will definitely add an additional value to your CV, right? And also understanding the value of obtaining industry skills and industry knowledge while you are an undergraduate is also really important. That is what we are seeing in other parts of the world, but unfortunately in Sri Lanka, our students are still behind on that. But as a country, we wanted to be one of key contributors to the IT industry globally. As one of the countries who are trying to do that, we really want you as students to start learning or grabbing these industry skills while you are at university itself. So throughout the presentation, first I will take you through a platform called Microsoft Learn, and then I will quickly get into Cloud Skills Challenge. So some of you may have seen this platform before, right? So if you really look at 3-4 years back, when you want to learn Microsoft technology, if you are a person who was trying to do a certification on Microsoft technologies, you were really struggling to find the right resource, because at that time we had multiple resources, starting from virtual academy to Channel 9 to hundreds of YouTube channels. No one could really understand where someone can, get the, what is the platform you should be really going through. That was a bigger challenge. So by looking at those challenges, Microsoft finally came up with this platform called Microsoft Learn. So inside Microsoft Learn, you're not only finding learning content, but documentations to frequently asked questions to all other learning materials, and also links are already given on the platform for the third-party solution platforms as well. I mean, learning platforms like, there are so many popular learning platforms, but we have linked those third-party content as well in addition to first-party content. So these are some of the key features or functionalities of Microsoft Learn, right? So you can get started with a learning path or module, and not only video content, but we have tutorials, hands-on experience, hands-on learning activities as well. And also, if you have really joined the previous session conducted by Taridu, you might have had sort of an understanding about what I'm talking right now. So even from Microsoft certification perspective, now we have made all the certification paths role-based, because we have identified people are really working towards a role, right? Today, as a student, you are studying, right? Maybe some of you are specializing in certain areas, certain parts, maybe software engineering to network engineering, etc. Right? So likewise, when you come to the industry, again, you have to pick a role, right? Now, as a student, you have to think about that role and work towards it. Sometimes your academic knowledge you're getting might not be 100% aligned with your future job role and the job role you're aspiring to do. But with this one, you can, again, while you are continuing your academic activities, you can come to Microsoft Learn and start grabbing these industry skills and industry knowledge. Again, these content are pretty much role-based. When I'm taking you through the platform, you will understand what I'm talking. And then we have gamified the platform. And once you earn a certain number of points by completing the content, you can get these badges. Badges you can see on the screen. And if you like, you can share those badges and your achievements on social media as well. And you will get nice user profile. So because everyone like to share their achievements, right? And it is really important. I mean, it's not just because you just like, but thousands of people looking at you. As an undergraduate, if you are continuously doing that, I mean, not just one-off, I mean, following a course, and no, if you can show that your interest on certain area, people in the industry will also keep an eye on you. When you are coming out, finding an internship, finding a job won't be a bigger challenge. And coming back to third column, all learning contents are totally free, right? So there are certain points given here. I'm not going to discuss them here, but in future slide, in the next set of slides, I will be explaining it further. So this is how it looks like. As I mentioned earlier, certification focused courses, instructor-led training courses, and plural site like third-party contents are already be integrated into Microsoft Learn. So this is how it looks like, the homepage. This screenshot was taken some time back, so things might have changed, but overall, in high level, this is how you see it. So basically, you can let me take the pointer. So basically, you can find learning paths, hands-on exercises, hands-on activities, and other content. And also, you can see this drop down. From here, you can select your role, continue the learning related to that particular role. So when you are browsing for all content, you can, based on your role again, you can pick your courses. And then sometimes you might be an expert or intermediate, a person with intermediate level knowledge, or a beginner, right? Depending on the level, also you can filter content, and content type, video, reading materials, etc. And also, products, you can select. If you are focusing on cloud platform, then you have Microsoft Azure and Office 365 products. So likewise, there are series of platforms. And also one thing I want to highlight, if you're an open source lover, sometime back, before Satya Nadella, our current CEO, get into his role, we had different CEOs joining the company. So one CEO was saying Linux is a cancer, right? I think, but from that day onward, people were maybe looking at Microsoft in a different way. But now, after Satya Nadella's leadership, because he's been an open source lover and a co-developer, he is driving the business in a totally different way. You might have seen we have acquired GitHub, and when we were buying that, people were saying, "Oh my God, Microsoft is going to sell our source codes, blah blah blah, trying to destroy it." No, nothing happened, right? It's continued in a better way than earlier. So our intention is to promote open source technologies. If you have seen, if you are a person who is really, reading technical articles and trying to be in touch with the technical community, you might have seen, right, who is the largest open source contributor as of now is Microsoft, right? So that contribution is keep growing. And one thing I want to mention here, Microsoft loves open source, right? So even if you scroll through Microsoft Learn platform, you will find not only knowledge for Microsoft product, but for open source technologies as well. Even if you look at Microsoft public computing platform, Microsoft Azure, you will find hundreds, thousands of open source based technologies. Right? If you're an open source lover, Microsoft would be a good option for you. So when you get into one module, this is how it looks like. You can see it says 3 hours and 20 minutes to complete this, right? There are 6 units, and you can earn this number of experience points once you complete the course. So also when you look at each unit, you can see one unit takes only 3 minutes, then 10 minutes, 7 minutes. When you're signing in to this portal, you can simply complete first 3 minutes and come back and do. Because these days, especially us, right, with the younger generation, we really don't want to spend a lot of time on something, right? I think concentrating for a long time is bigger challenge, right? Maybe because of that reason, Microsoft has followed micro learning concepts, micro learning methodologies here. So we have broken these content into small pieces, right? So you might be having 3 minutes or 15 minute free time. You come here and do that piece and go back. Maybe after 1 day or 2 days you come back, you find 10 minutes to complete the second one, and maybe during the weekend you get 1 hour, then you can complete the whole thing and then get into the next module. This is one thing I didn't mention earlier. So getting access to a real environment is a bigger challenge when it comes to learning about cloud computing, especially for students, right? Because if you really look at common cloud platforms like Azure, AWS to GCP, Google Cloud, the free number of credits you get is really limited, right? If you look at Azure, you get only $200 worth of credit, right, as a trial, but it is also lasting for 30 days. Then if you are a student, you can sign up for Azure for Students, which will give you $100 free of charge. Again, it is limited to 30 days. But on Azure, you have certain services free forever, and there are around 25 to 30 services available free of charge for 1 year once you sign up for Azure account. But again, as a student, there can't be any boundaries for learning, right? There can't be any boundaries. You should have unlimited number of credits technically to continue your learnings. But can we do it? I don't think any cloud provider can do it. That's why we have to limit it, because people will definitely misuse it, right? So because of these reasons, I think Microsoft has came up with this solution. I think this is the first time. I think this is the first and one and only platform we have so far. Now, if you look at these CLIs, right? So normally when you start to learn about public cloud platform, specifically maybe AWS, even GCP or Azure, you have to set your environment. This is not only for cloud computing, but even when you are trying to learn about new framework or a language, you have to set your computer, right? The environment and everything. You have to install hundreds of stuff sometimes. But now here you get everything on your web browser. You just have to have an updated web browser which support these functionalities. I think Chrome or Microsoft Edge will work for sure. So you can just follow these steps on your left side and have your Azure CLI or command line interface on your right side and start or going through your learning. You don't need to install any CLIs or any plugins or anything on your machine, right? And the other thing is the point I was explaining earlier, Azure account. So on Microsoft Learn platform, when you are going through hands-on exercises for sure, I mean, when you're learning cloud, you can't just read and learn cloud. You really need to get your hands on those technologies. You have to get your hands dirty, and then only you can learn it. If you're just following the courses or watching videos and trying to learn it, you will never be able to do that, right? So that's where the value of Azure Microsoft Learn comes to the picture, as I mentioned earlier. So you will get a button like this when you are having hands-on exercises. You can simply create a sandbox environment free of charge and do your hands-on exercise. So basically, you get access or username and password for a sandbox environment. You can just copy and paste in on the real Azure environment, and that will be created for you temporary basis. Once you complete exercises, after some time, it will be automatically deleted. When you are following a new course, maybe even the same day or tomorrow, I mean, day after, doesn't matter, you can create another sandbox environment and continue your learning. So that's how it works, right? Without worrying about Azure credit or cloud consumption, you can continue your learning. And then, as I mentioned earlier, you can, I think checking your knowledge is really important, right? At the end of each module, you have to go through a questionnaire and check your knowledge, and then you can earn these badges. And this is how the profile looks like. There are certain new functionalities have been added, but this is the summary. You can see your badges and content you have covered and number of experience points you have earned. So let me quickly move to Microsoft Cloud Skills Challenge. So this is actually University of Peradeniya is the 10th university in Sri Lanka to launch Microsoft Cloud Skills Challenge, right? So the whole intention behind this exercise is to open your eyes on value of learning or grabbing industry skills and industry certifications while you are at the university. Even in the very beginning, I was telling you, so we see this as an ongoing exercise in European and other part of the world, right? But especially when it comes to South Asian countries like Sri Lanka, still we don't see university students are starting learning about this stuff. Majority of the students start learning or grabbing these industry skills after they graduate from the university, right? So if you take your batch, how many students will be there? I think sometimes more than 100, sometimes more than 500, sometimes more than 1,000. But if you really look at number of private universities and government universities, the same thing, I mean, from the same degree or same specialization, just think about it. I mean, how many students are coming out in a year? Everyone would like to find a better opportunity, better career opportunity, better job, right? When I say better job or good job, it's up to you to define how you really look at it, right? I'm not going to define a better job, right? But if you really want to differentiate yourself, you really need to have these skill sets when you're facing an interview. If you have these certifications, if you have grabbed these skill sets while you are an undergraduate, you can definitely differentiate yourself from the rest. When you go for an interview, you will be definitely selected, right? So try your best to differentiate yourself. Maybe when you are studying now, you have to differentiate yourself, right? So you have to think about how you really do something in an innovative way, a much better way. Then only you can differentiate yourself. I'm keep saying the same word, so I'm trying to give you that message. Only one and only message. Try to differentiate yourself always. So then only you can easily get into the next level. You can go through the career ladder very quickly, right? So these are the intentions. This is our intention. I mean, why we want to do this? We want you to innovate more, because when you are innovating more, when you are looking at things in a different way, when you're grabbing these skills while you are an undergraduate, then you can again differentiate yourself. You can be more competitive, right? Then you can grow your business, because some of these slides, the components you see on slide might not be relevant to you, but one day those things will be relevant to you, right? Because majority of you might do a job, right? Other students will start their own company. Even though you are starting a business, your own business, or trying to work under someone else, in both cases, when you are trying to become an entrepreneur, when you are trying to work with entrepreneurship skills, people will love you, right? Irrespective of you're working under someone or working for your own business. So those skill sets can be gained by going through this kind of learning content, by grabbing these industry skills, right? While you are going through your academic activities. So you have to invest in your training. So building learning culture is really important. So one day, I mean, in another 3 or 4 years, maximum 4 years, right, for everyone. So you will get out from the university. And then if you are starting a business, you have to build that learning culture. If you are in a company, that company should be having this learning culture, right? So certification is also really important. So the sample I was mentioning earlier, you have to differentiate yourself. So getting the certification is one way you can do it. So please think about it. We have less number of students, if you take Sri Lanka, who are having these certifications, industry certifications in the early ages. But if you can get it, you can definitely become a different person, and opportunities will follow you. You don't need to follow the opportunities, right? So basically in Microsoft Learn, I'm not going to take much time here, because I know the team, organizing team, is ready to take you through the whole process, right? If this is the first time you are looking or hearing this word, Microsoft Cloud Skills Challenge, so they will help you to understand it more and take you through the process of the enrollment, right? Basically, you have to learn, compete, and then the top students will be awarded with nice Microsoft branded swags. And one small request to make here, if you really look at the previous, with my previous experience in 9 universities, majority of the students were just completing or going through the content just for the sake of earning points, right? So because of that reason, we had to have a separate questionnaire to find out the right students with the right skill set, the students who have honestly gone through the content. I believe Peradeniya students are so honest. So I will suggest, I will request you not to just press next, and complete the module just for the sake of earning points, but start learning. I know some of you might be having exams, so skip those time frame. That's why we have extended this for, I think, for around 45 days. So everyone will get quality time to follow these courses and learn something new, right? So go through it, learn something new, and try to apply even when you're doing your university activities. So again, to summarize everything I was discussing from the beginning, so creating a learning culture is really important, irrespective if you are inside your university or in an industry. So you have to keep your skills up to date. If you are a person from IT industry specifically, you know, it's fastly changing. You do something today, and tomorrow, if you are not up to date, you might not be able to do the same thing on the same day. So keeping your skills current and up to date is really important, right? So you have to cross train yourself, right? So sometimes you might be sticking in the comfort zone because you are so familiar with those technologies, but you really need to look at outside world, what is going on, and gain possible know-how, the knowledge or other technologies as well, while you're building your expertise on something else. And also this will help to identify skill gaps, right? So sometimes you might be thinking, okay, I know everything on this particular area, but there may be some gaps, right? This is a good opportunity for you to, refresh your knowledge by going through this content, right? So when you are in the industry, you will definitely get internal promotion and other opportunities. You can easily get in or going through your career ladder when you have these skill sets, right? So incentivizing, yes, we do that. As I mentioned earlier, you will be getting, all the winners will be getting nice gift packs from Microsoft. So highly encourage you to participate in Microsoft Learn Cloud Skills Challenge. So you can, so these are some of the collections. So we have created a custom collection for your competition by looking at your interest areas. We know most of you are really interested in data and AI, and some of you may be focused on infrastructure. So by considering those percentages of interest, we have put together a custom collection and build the challenge. So that's all I wanted to share. So if you have any questions, you can reach out to myself or the organizing committee. The organizing committee would be your point of contact. And if you have any questions on Microsoft Learn or any programs, so do reach out to us. And would like to take this moment to thank the organizing committee. I know multiple organizations were working with us since very beginning, and within 2 weeks time, you could, get the whole thing into this level. That is really impressive, and thank you so much. And special thanks goes to the academic, the professors, doctors, and lecturers as well. Thank you so much for giving us this opportunity to land this program for your students. And yeah, looking forward to continue this momentum with University of Peradeniya. Over to you. Thank you very much. Have a good evening.
Thank you, sir. This competition serves to be a very interesting module, I am sure, for all of you. And the first step in this venture is the registration process. So I would like to invite Viraj Danushkar, the programming team lead of the IEEE student branch of the University of Peradeniya, to brief you on the very simple but important steps regarding the registration process.
Thank you, Rashmi. Good evening, everyone. Hope you guys can see the screen and hear me. So, guys, hope you guys all now you're familiar with the Cloud Skill Challenge. So there are very little and easy steps that you have to follow to get registered to this competition. So this is actually, guys, you are seeing the guide that we will forward you. So we will share with you this guide as well, and make sure you can see all the links I'm here using are available in the chat as well. So as the first step, guys, we have to sign up at Microsoft Learn platform. So once you go to that website, the most important point is this: you have to enter the display name. So make sure, guys, you have to rename it, or you have to enter the display name as the university registration number, which is in this format, right? So this is UOP _ followed by your admission number. I can show you guys what's going on. So this is the Learn website. So if you do the registration process with your correct display name, you can have something like this, right? So if you don't have counted, you can create one. After that, you should have something like this. This is the correct format to the competition. So the next thing I want to share is after you registering to this competition, you can use this link. The link will be in the chat. So you can use this link to navigate to the challenge page. So the challenge page would be, already you can see the challenge has started. So you have roughly 60 days to complete the challenge. And I want to mention something. In the very bottom page, you can see there are few frequently asked questions. So almost all the questions that you might encounter would be find in here. So if you have still questions, let's say specific questions in registering or something, you can definitely contact us. I will leave my contact information as well. So that's pretty much it from my end, guys. So keep completing modules to earn points and try to stay on the top of the leaderboard. And I wish you all very best and happy learning. Thank you very much. Over to you, Rashmi.
Thank you, Viraj. And now this opportunity is for the audience. If you have any questions, you may ask them now. I will give you a few minutes. You may direct your questions to Mr. Prabhat if you do have any questions. And like Viraj said, you may always contact the IEEE student branch of the University of Peradeniya if you have any questions. Mr. Prabhat, if it's okay with you, there's a question from the audience. Do we need to sign in using our G Suite email?
G Suite email. So you can actually use any email to sign up for Microsoft Learn, but recommended email would be your personal one, not G Suite one. I'm pretty sure you are referring to Google Suite, the corporate email ID with your university domain, right? So not that one. Maybe if you can use your personal Gmail or any, because you can sign up for a Microsoft account with your existing email, or you can sign up for an Outlook account and use it. But basically, if you are signing up for Microsoft Learn with your Microsoft personal account, that would be the best way, because someday, one day you will leave from the university. At that point of time, you might lose access to that email ID, right? Then you'll be in a trouble and you won't be able to log into the system. So recommended to use your personal ID to sign up for Microsoft Learn. Even for this activity, I think that doesn't matter. But when you're setting up your display name, you have to make sure you are following the pattern explained by the team, Viraj. Yeah, something like that.
Thank you, sir. So I assume that's the end of the questions. The Cloud Skill Challenge serves as an important and imperative challenge, I might say, to all of you in terms of gaining knowledge and skills to serve the industry. So stay tuned, as explained, and try your best to collect points to win exclusive gifts from Microsoft. We have now reached the end of the launching ceremony of the Cloud Skill Challenge program. So on behalf of the organizing committee, I would like to extend my sincere gratitude to Mr. Prabhat for being here with us today despite your busy schedule. My appreciation lies also towards the patient audience for joining today's session. Wishing you all the very best for the competition. Good night.